Well, hey, welcome back. We've been building a streaming music service with Phoenix and Elixir. Um, I don't remember what we did in the last video. There was a long weekend since then. Um, oh, here, let me, don't need my computer going off or my phone going off. I rolled in kind of unprepared, sorry. We're just gonna find our way through this together. So, yeah, I don't know where we left off. What's in the commit history here? How do we see that? Right here. Audio status field. Oh yeah, we added a thing so we could see what the HTML media elements do in the audio players. See what's going on with that, and show that to the listener. Here, maybe I should get. Wow, lots of stuff. Local host, there it is. We got that running. Better go catch it. That was interesting. Why, Ooh. Lots happened since then. Look at that, look at it recompile everything. What happened? You know, I think I rebooted the computer. Did I reboot the computer? Wow. Some things happened. What? Why are we running 112 now? Updates. Well, I don't mind saying I don't like that. Because I think we've got... Oh, only 110 on the server. Yeah, that bugs me, man, when you... I didn't ask it to update that. I installed something with Homebrew. And I noticed it was doing a whole lot, and I'm like, what are you doing over there? And I think it just decided we would update some things. That's one of my pet peeves. All right, well, I'm not gonna untangle that on this video. If I've got to, I may have to, oh, right. And of course it stopped Postgres, because it probably updated that too, right? Is there, can we just see what version? 12.8, okay, that's fine. Start, and then the data's in user local. Postgres. Not properly shut down. Yeah. Thanks again, Mr. Update. Yeah, what is it? What is it with the updates now? You know, I got everything wanting to update, and it seems like half the time it breaks more than it fixes. And they're all automatic, and they get real pushy if you're like, no thanks, I'll vet these and maybe let somebody else try them first, you know, and I think it's real pushy. It's like, oh, but you've got it right now. It could be security, you know. Well, it could be. It could be like none of my stuff works now, too, you know. Not that Elixir 112's breaking my stuff. I just had it, you know, I wanted a version, if not exactly what I had on the server, then close to it, right? Of course. And I think 111 was the closest I could get to install through Homebrew without going through some contortions, right? Seems like a reasonable thing to want to run a particular version of something. And they do have a way where you can run Postgres 12, you know. But yeah, with Elixir, it's like, oh, well, you can have the latest. And it's like, well, but I want to use the one I've got on the server so I don't accidentally do something I can't do there, which I've done before. I mean, that's why I did the thing, you know. It's easy to get yourself in. You're like, oh, look at this. You know, and the next thing you know, you're using some stuff that you haven't even got. Ah, that's my rant. Man, don't get me started on updates. You already did. I got me started on updates. Don't you help. That's the key. All right, so what we were talking about last time, see there where it says pause? That's what we were doing last time. You know this, you probably didn't have off we go. You probably didn't have a long weekend since you saw the last video, and maybe you did. Maybe this is helpful. Anyway, yeah, so it says playing, whatever's going on. I get to hit the hardware button, now it's paused. I don't know if playing and paused are the right, because paused kind of to me says like, it's not moving, and this is definitely moving. Like when we hit play again, it's going to come to the correct time, which is how we built it. So maybe playing and paused aren't the right things there. We can fix that. The other thing that I had on my mind is I think there's like maybe 3 things we need to do before I want to move this live. And one of them is I ought to have a message on this screen that will appear if JavaScript's disabled, and explain what won't work, which is basically everything, but explain why this page uses JavaScript to the user so then they can make a decision. Do they want to enable it or do they want to move on and do something else with their day? Also, I think we got to set up configuration for production. So we'll split the config file into like a base config that applies to every environment. We'll have one for development and one for production, and then we can add one for test later when we write some tests. If I end up doing that on video, I don't know. Let me know if you think that'd be interesting to see down in the comments. Otherwise, I might just take care of that one day and drink some tea and make it happen. But maybe there's some things that are interesting about it. I don't know. Testing's interesting. There's some interesting features, in particular to how I would implement tests for this. And how to choose what to test or what strategy to take when approaching tests. Do you want to try to test to a specification? Do you want to try and test exactly the code that you wrote and make sure that its behavior doesn't change? Do you want to test by example? So like the MP3 decoder thing we wrote to calculate how long an MP3 is, its duration. That was interesting. Did you see that? It come up on the new song, and even though it was boop on the hardware thing, it's still boop because it doesn't check. That might be something we got to look into. That MP3 thing, like we could test it to the spec, but is the spec really what we want to test it to? Like, probably not, because we don't, like, the input's the input, like the function of that module is to calculate the duration of the kinds of MP3s we try to import, right? So it should work on a good selection of MP3s, whether they meet the spec or don't. If it doesn't work on an MP3, it needs to be fixed. Like, I'm not going to tell the MP3 it's wrong, or the artist who provided it and say, oh, sorry, you're going to have to re-encode this for me. It doesn't work with my thing. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to fix my thing. Whatever artists are sending me, if it's even remotely reasonable, like that's the standard and that's what we'll build it to. So in that case, maybe you would try to collect or produce a good sampling of MP3s made with different products, and then if you ever get one that's tricky, like take that or make one that's an example of that issue, so that you don't regress later. So there's all different kinds of ways to approach that, And in other cases, you might want to test to a spec. If you're checking the output of something especially, you might want to check that it meets the specification. Or you might say like, hey, this one is a little picky on its input, but it meets the specification. If you're able to produce input that this will consume, then you know that you can interact with a specification compliant thing. And so it just depends on what you're trying to do with it, how you want to approach it. So all that said, first thing I wanted to consider is this verbiage here, and then I guess we should also think about, I'll put a pin in it for now, we don't need it to ship, but it is worth thinking about if we need to keep track of whether the media was paused before we start playing a new track, right? So because we don't choose to play the next track when the media ends, we actually keep track of how much time has passed. That could be a detriment to the user or against what they're trying to accomplish. Does it seem to you like time is passing so slow over here? It was. Look at that. And then I focus it and it comes back. This is, you can't just trust what you find in MDM where it's like, oh yeah, no, you'll get a callback like every 1,000 milliseconds if you ask for it. No. All these browsers are doing stuff behind the scenes to try and improve performance and battery life and all that stuff. Like, you're on your own. You gotta see what it really does. Yeah, I just quit. You see that? It even stopped animating the GIF. Isn't that wild? I wonder if it's still playing the music. That's how it goes. Well, that's not annoying. And when you restart it, it behaves differently. Well, why does that say synchronizing right now, do you think? Man, I feel like there's some opportunities in like everything that we wrote last time. So let's take a look there. So what happens if you... Yeah, it comes up and says paused. But if we quit come in, does it just say synchronizing or was that a fluke? Fluke. So yeah, where were we doing that? Up here in these event listeners, right? And so first of all, paused. Paused has got to go. Playing, fine. Maybe we should say listening because that's what the button says is listen. Yeah, so let's clean up what we did last time first, and then we'll dive into the new stuff, right? So paused should say something else. Not listening. And you could hit the listen button to listen. Playing. So what if we change playing to listening? Not listening. Listening. Not listening. Listening. There we go. Okay, I like that better. If you got a better idea what it should say, let me know down in the comments. I'm definitely open to suggestions. So then the other thing we should look at is definitely, maybe we need to keep a flag. Flag indicating right, because, well, wait, so what causes that? So let's set to not listening. Let's watch here what happens. Yeah, so now it's listening again. So what happened is we got, oh wow, look at that. We got the audio player to aborted. See, I didn't think that would ever get called, but I'm interested that it did. So what happens? We pause. So we had the pause, then we had the XML HTTP request because the timeout fired. We got it back. We got the current audio. It took 18.5 milliseconds. Neat. So then the abort happened. So do you think the abort happened because we set the source attribute? I'll bet that's the case, is when we set the source attribute, I'll bet the abort happened. Emptied because it needs to download the new media. Load start happened. And then we got the can play through. And that, I bet, can play through. Yeah, so this is where we started it. And so this is also where we could consider that we might want to not do that, right? So we're going to say synchronizing, and then we set the timeout. Now, in that timeout, we could check a flag, and if the flag is set, yeah, I think we should do that, because if a listener uses their hardware button or a software button to pause, then they would not, they're not going to be happy if this thing just starts blasting music at the next song. Like, they could be sitting there talking to their boss or something, could have walked by and like, hey, can I, hand, what are you doing? No, I'm going to pause this. And then it just blasts in while you're trying to talk to your boss. You look like a jerk. I don't want to make anybody look like a jerk. That's not cool. So, yeah, so let's make a little flag. Flag. Indicates if audio is currently being listened to. Set on audio player play event cleared on pause event. Checked in can play through event before starting play. I'm a little iffy on like saying what all is going to happen with a variable here, because this is really likely to not get updated if we make a change to the code that's somewhere else from here. Yeah. I don't have a great answer to that. We could just take the comment out. I don't know if that's better than having one that might be wrong here. Okay. False, is it? That's a thing, right? True, false. Those are literals or booleans. Yeah, that's a real thing. Tell me that's not new, right? CSS animation. True type, true. Okay, I don't think that this is a JavaScript built-in function length, yada, yada, yada. Boolean literals. Huh. Cool, they're in here. Somehow only 97.05% support, but it goes back forever. Cool. Yeah, it's not new. I didn't think it was, but I've been surprised more than once on this project. Okay, so I think what we better do is set listening to false when we're paused, true when we play, and check it here just like we said we would. If listening, audio player.play. Okay. Listen, pause. All right, we'll just see how that does. But I think that will resolve that. Oh, well, I did two things and didn't commit after the first one, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's don't start audio when it was paused by hardware key. Ugh. Respect hardware play pause. Sure. Control, command, shift. There we go. Update, play, pause, descriptions. Okay. All right, so those are, I think that kind of cleans up what we were working on last time pretty well. We'll see if we notice anything else that was wrong with it, but otherwise we'll call that cleaned up. And so the other thing I want to get in here is a message. And where's a good place to put that? Is going to be here. Section ID. Message. We'll call it, I think. And oh, look, the thing's it's gonna tick over. We'll see what happens. So we need a paragraph in here. And let's see, how do I want to phrase this? Let me just, I can't type and talk too well at the same time. Let me hash this out and we'll see what I come up with. And songs and backgrounds to play for you, and well, it does more than to manage the audio player controls and to control the audio player, to control audio playback. If you would like to use this page, please enable JavaScript section. Okay. It did. I think it did tick over right. I didn't look. Sorry. So where'd that message go? That's neat, huh? Oh, is it there? What's going on with that? Like, is its Z index too low? Or... yeah. Because all of the fixed position stuff went above it. Is that what we're seeing here? I guess it doesn't really... it's not going to tell us, is it? Oh, why didn't that... I didn't really... oh, no, I clicked onto something else. Oh, well, that's probably not... can we... does that... it really doesn't help, does it? No? It's just like it's in a different... what do they call that? Stacking context or something? Is that why? I should have looked this up, but caught me unawares. Doesn't matter. We're going to do a fixed position on it anyhow, but we'll probably run into this a little more when... oh, that's the like third or fourth thing we should probably do before shipping this is make at least some effort at like a mobile thing, which, you know, if it looks fine on mobile, it looks fine just like this, but I don't think it's going to. I think we need to do at least kind of a minimal thing to make it work a little better on a narrow screen. I don't intend to go like over the top with that or make it like a first class experience, so to speak. At this juncture, I think people will want to use it on mobile. But I think, first of all, whether I do it on the website or as a native application on the phone, it's going to be a serious undertaking. Like, that's not just a bag on the side of doing the web page. And I want the main first class experience of the overall service to be desktop. And so this, you know, normally, you know, for a different kind of service or a different kind of website, I would say, sure, mobile first makes sense. But for this one, I really don't think it does. I really think that the desktop experience of the website should be a first-class thing. Now, it may also be the case that the mobile experience should be a first-class thing. But those will be two separate first-class things, if that's the case. Otherwise, the mobile portion of the website may be like a this will get you by kind of thing, but please use the app, you know? And not... I mean, I'll have to think of that, because I do hate those sites where it's like you just go to look at one thing and they're like, oh, you gotta use the app. And it's like, I don't want the app, I'm just here for a minute. But I don't think this is like that. I think if you're gonna use this, you're gonna use it for a little while. And I don't want to pester people to use the app either. I don't want to make the website bad so that you would use the app. So I have to find the right balance there. Anyway, that's something we'll have to look at. So, yeah. So that'll come back to haunt us. Message. Position fixed. Top 0. right is open, bottom's open, left, 0, oop, width, 50%, box sizing, we better do border box, just like the other thing, and then padding will follow along what we've been doing, so that'll be 0, 0.5 rem, oh, wait, so this is 0.5 rem because it touches at the top. Right bottom, 0.5 rem on the left. Let's see how that comes out. Yeah, that gets it right in there. So what's see, now these are at different heights, which doesn't make my brain real happy, for one thing. And then the other is we may actually choose to make this narrower to keep it more in the corner, but we'll come back to that. Let's see why these things are different heights. So I see we have the same margin, they match up nice, like all of that worked great. I think what's going on there is the line height maybe on the H1. Yeah, see that's not like margin or anything, that's just the actual line height. So we may choose, oh, well. One thing we could choose is to not worry about it. Another thing we could choose is to reduce the margin somewhat. We'll see. So that being the case though, that aside rather, oh, sorry, my muscle memory just really took me the wrong direction there. I felt like I was in Sublime for a second. I don't think there's a way to fancy wrap text in here, so do it by hand, just like the old days. Yeah, so what I'm working on here is I want that to be red. And video for buttons, red for errors. And we could use this for, well, I guess it's really just the color, HSLA. We could use this too for like a flash message or something on like another part of the site if we needed it, I think. 0, 90%. Another one of our IBM inspired colors here. Yeah. I don't think you can copyright a color. Goodness, I hope not. Yeah, there's only so many, you know. There we go, now it's red. Yeah, that should work. To get songs and backgrounds to play for you and to control audio playback. To use this page, please enable JavaScript. Great. So that's the most part of a JavaScript message, but perhaps the most important part of a JavaScript message is that it goes away if you have JavaScript enabled. So, well, so I don't want to hide the whole section, right? We may put other messages in here. But I do want to be able to hide the JavaScript message in particular. Okay. Blew right by it. What is it? Set attribute. Man, I go away for the weekend and I come back and I'm just like full of dirt. Set attribute. It just slides out while I'm not using it. Hidden true. See how that goes. Bingo. Okay. So there's a JavaScript message. And then kind of what I was thinking about is I may move this here over into that message block and maybe expand on it a little. Because I will... Oh man, yeah, is that something else that needs to be done before it goes live? I really should have a way to reach out and contact me. And eventually it'll probably be a whole other page, maybe a couple of pages for different circumstances, and maybe there'd be a form you can do on different stuff. For now, an email address would be adequate. But it's really important to me, and I think in general, especially when you're new, is to be able to communicate with people about how you're doing and how they like the service and what they don't like about the service. And if there's no email address, I mean, it's hard enough to, people got to be like motivated to reach out by email, but if there's no address, then it's even harder. And I definitely don't want to turn somebody away who's eager to reach out and have a conversation. So let's move that. So it must be right here. Your soundtrack for work and study. What can we say that's a little more? Mellow lo-fi music takes the edge off the day and helps you focus on your work and study time. Focus for your work and study time. Do I want to capitalize that? Like, yeah, I kind of thought maybe I was doing a good thing there, but mellow lo-fi music takes the edge off your day, and helps you focus for your work and study time. Helps you focus during work and study time. Something like that. Yeah, mellow lo-fi music takes the edge off your day and helps you focus during work and study time. That'll work for now. We'll workshop that a little. Let me know what you think. Tell me what to put there that's better. I'm not a writer. I write code, So that's good. This service is a work in progress. Please let me please let me know. Okay, so, that's interesting. So we have no spacing between paragraphs. And that is pretty predictable because I think we turned it off somewhere. Under the guise of tightening up heading and paragraph spacing. So let's do this. Margin so that is the bottom one. Can we do that? Might have got that backwards. Nope. I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't suppose this is any help. Nope. What am I doing wrong here? Do I remember what the star does? CSS selector star. Star? Asterisk? Asterisk. Let's just throw it all in there. Oh, it's not star, it's man, you're yelling at the screen, but I can't make out what you're telling me. Star is for anything. Where's my head at? What I want is P, and then there's something I can put there. CSS selectors. Ooh, what is this? Is that the one I want? That kind of feels like attribute selector, descendant combinator, new general sibling, tilde. The second element follows the first, though not necessarily immediately. Adjacent sibling, that's it. Bingo. Right. That's what we're talking about. Aha, there we go. So what that does is it finds a paragraph that follows a paragraph and adds, whoa, why'd that work? Match P elements that immediately follows. Why did setting margin bottom on that work? Should match the second element. Oh, it meant, oh, because there's one above it, but it's hidden. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I still should have set margin top. Unfortunately, oh no! But it's hidden. What happens? So how can we fix this? This is awful. Strung up on my own cleverness. How am I going to get out of this? So can we say display none? Does that doesn't help a thing, does it? Because it still counts. Of course it does. Of course it still counts. So I guess maybe the moral of the story is as simple as, whoa, I just had another idea. Can we, there's gotta be a way to do it, right? MDN delete node. No, that's not really what I would. Element.remove, node remove child, element.remove. Oh, you know, I was going to check to like, you know, whenever you get to it. Sibling. General sibling, adjacent sibling combinator. Oh, okay, that goes way back. Good. And then element.remove. That didn't go back that far. That's pretty new. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Node remove child, I think, is older. Node dot parent element, parent node. Yeah, so is that the, I think that's it. Parent node, yeah, that's how we used to do it. That's fine. So let's just yank this whole node right out of the DOM. I mean, if JavaScript's enabled, we don't need it for anything. Parent node dot remove child. See how that goes. Yep, that does it. Okay. This service is a work in progress. Please let me know what you think of it. What's great, what could be better, and what's on your mind. That goes for you too. Would really appreciate if you, if this is anything remotely of interest to you in your life, if you would pop over there, check it out, and drop me an email, most importantly. I'd love to know what thoughts you have, but if you are just willing to help me out too, and you don't have any particular thoughts, I can ask questions to get thoughts out of you. I've been practicing that a lot, and I'm getting pretty good at it, I think. So, yeah, even if you're just a willing guinea pig, I would love to have an email from you, and I will write back with some questions. But if you have thoughts and you want to fire them at me, you can do it that way too. And I really do appreciate it. And down in the comments is fine. I'll take it any way I can get it because, you know, I can build something I love, but if I'm not building something a whole lot of people love, I'm going to be the only one using it, you know? And that's not what I'm going for. So, yeah, so that's pretty good. It doesn't look as good as it did before, but, oh, here, let's, while we're here, pause. Now let's see what that does as it ticks over.
Beavers can hold their breath for 45 minutes underwater.
Yeah, it totally didn't work, did it? What the heck, man? So, yeah. What happened there? I thought we had this all figured out. Do you think it's just starting? Just like on its own? Like, I don't think we set autoplay on it, or did we? Oh, I'd feel a little silly about that if we had just put it on there. No. Autoplay's not set. So why would it, console not debug? Listening. Not listening. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we got the basics happening there. I think we're setting it and unsetting it when we should, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I could have set a breakpoint here too, but I don't know. I do that sometimes, but usually I just drop a few debugs in and see what happens. How do you do? Let me know if you got a minute. I'm always looking to learn something. And I'd love to learn more about doing this, being good at it and efficient at it. All right, let's pause that. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. Yeah, synchronizing's good, listening. It says it was true. How could it be true? Can play through. When did it get set to true, man? That's a puzzle. Oh, wow. It's because I put it in the wrong spot. I put it under load start. Oh, wow, man. I feel bad about that. You saw that, didn't you? You're just like, I don't know when he's going to find it, but... All right, well, that should fix it. Which, I mean, should I cherry pick that and put it back onto the... No, look at that's two things ago. Yeah, okay, well, let's commit. Ooh. All right, let's commit this. Message section. Okay. And then we better actually do the thing. Whoop. Yeah, no, that's it. And then we'll put it here. Okay. Hopefully that works. Actually, expect hardware, play stop, play top, play stop, play pause, they call it. Okay, hopefully we actually got that this time. So we got the message, we got the... Yeah, I got stuck on synchronizing again. Oh well. That's weird. Wish I knew why it did that. I'll have to poke into it later. Alright, so I think that gets us going for the player. Wow, look at that. What's this, what's this? Is that the paragraph thing? Oh. No. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no, look at that. That's the paragraphs. So, well, yeah, and those don't need to be separate paragraphs. What we really ought to be doing here is, let's organize this up a little. And break. And then this is a span. Break. Oh, right. That's why I made them paragraphs, isn't it? Can a break go in a span? Probably not. Because break is like a block level thing, right? Okay, so let's say then that this Paragraphs in a message section should enter paragraph spacing in message section. Yeah. But that, oh boy. How's that work? Seems to work fine. Cool. Rather be lucky than good. Paragraph spacing. Player paragraph spacing. Yeah, okay, that's better. So this is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that. So I think the player's all set other than looking at some stuff for mobile. And then we still need to do the configuration split out. So we'll probably look at those two things in the next video. I think this is probably a good place to button this one up. And I'll test on this a little more and see if there's something else we need to fix from before, but I think that's going to cover it. And yeah. So cool, this is getting close, and I've been talking to some listeners who are willing to be guinea pigs. If you're willing, please let me know down in the, well, shoot me an email. It's support@parksdigital.com. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Love to pick your brain a little as you try it out. And yeah, we'll get going on that. Next time we'll probably look at some just basic stuff for mobile. I'll take a look at what it looks like now. Like that's, I don't know, probably looks bad, I guess. And we'll chooch it up a little to work on the mobile. And then we'll look at the config stuff. I don't know if it'll take a whole video to do the mobile stuff. It might. My guess is we'll need to like not do position fixed for everything and probably like let it flow in a reasonable order. And yeah, that'll probably get it going. We may want to reorder how it flows. I don't know. This might be pretty good. I don't think we'll hide anything on mobile. We'll probably just let this all appear, but it may take more than one screen because of that. So, oh, you know, something I was thinking about is we had, yeah, see that? Because this is more the shape of most people's screens, right? And that's way too wide to read. We really ought to have, we'll get one more in. Paragraphs, message section paragraphs shouldn't be too long to read. And so we're going to say message p max width 30M, something like that. That tightens it up just a little, but more importantly, it stays up in the corner and it stays more readable. You can scan across it without losing your spot as easily. So cool. All right, that's the last one for this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, take care.